Hi everyone, Lex the Gray here. Welcome back to episode 2 of the Dark Trio. I decided to record this using my ugly mug and not the top-down camera because I realized in the last episode it was turning into a dark comedy, especially the part where the old man ran into the tavern pleading for help, and everyone's like, "You guys hear something?" So I figured this is actually going to be a good way to portray a attempt at acting and role playing with these characters because each character, Mel, Bar, and Yark, they're very different. They're very, very different. And I think it's going to play pretty well in their part at their first quest as the official Dark Trio Guild. That's the idea here. So if these guys survive, which again the likelihood is so low because Cairn is very deadly, um, Mel has this idea in his mind, but he wants this to turn into a guild of sorts, to pay to get jobs done. They want to make money. Mel, remember, he's the bored son of a rich noble family. Bar is the blacksmith. He's greedy, so that's what made him jump up so giddy and happy that he's offered gold to just smash a few heads, probably. And then Yark is he's the gravedigger, though he is supposedly the smartest one based on the stats we rolled up. So we'll see how it pans out. In my eyes, as I have these character sheets drawn up, Bar is number one, Yark, Mel is number two, Yark is number three, just in the order of how I do combat. Because I am showing my face in this one, it's going to require a lot of effort from me. And that is in portrayal, role play, and acting, which is something I always am pretty consistent with. So I figured, why not give it a shot with this episode? I will tell you everything I roll. I will not lie. I have the Cairn book right here, and I have my notes like before. So with that done, housekeeping, as I typically should have said, Mel, poor Mel, is hurt. He was struck by that wolf because we went two ways with the approach to combat in Cairn. I was rolling statistics, and then I tried just to straight up damage, which Cairn is at its core all about. So there is a rule for healing, and resting for a few moments, having a drink of water restores lost HP, but leaves the party exposed. I will keep out the water requirement, and I say after they fended off those wolves, there's a pack of wolves which is dealt with. Gray wolves, demonic wolves, however you want to see it. They proceed on, and I'm backtracking from the last episode because we were approaching the cave and they hear a scream coming from the cave. Backtracking a bit. Up until that point, they are going to be move over the volume because I see it spiking. I don't have my headset for this one. Trying something different. They are going to take a short break. Mel wants to heal, and I will let him heal. But I will let him heal. Let me grab my dice here. 2d6. Because that's was the starting health roll plus 4 when I made this character. So 2d6, 11, which is full on heal. So he is back to 12, which was his original. And now we can continue on to the cave entrance. So they proceed on from a spot that was safe to rest. They approach the cave, and the old man, who was aptly named, what was his name? Mr. Simone, was the head barkeep, the boss of Mel. The Mel quit. I have to remember that Mel actually quit. I think I wrote that down. I'm sure I'll forget it. But Jarl from Skyrim, Jarl is the old man. His son Timothy um, was kidnapped by an unknown creature of sorts. And like I said, if I recall correctly, my world building, quote unquote, this world is mostly occupied by humans, but there has been an uptick in demons, the dead, the undead, creatures of sorts, stuff like that. Goblins, elves, dwarfs, kobolds, etc. not many around. Perhaps in this area of the world. Again, I don't know how far this will expand as a campaign or as a one shot, but let's focus on the here and now, an isolated approach in this narrative in this setting. So, as they approach the cave, let's roll Ask the Oracle. I'm thinking, is there anything outside of the cave? Knowing how dangerous this area is, that's a factor. We ran into a couple of not originally aggressive wolves. They were circling, so they were getting a read on their potential food. But in the end, we defeated them. Let's ask the question here to the Oracle. The Oracle is the screen with a D100 or a D10 and the percentile. What are the chances there is something guarding the tunnel? If the boy Timothy was kidnapped from the tunnel when he was goofing around, playing around the tunnel entrance, and he is taken to the cave by some mysterious figure, by some mysterious creature, what are the chances that that there's still someone, something guarding the entrance? I don't know. Really don't know. So let's say 50% chance, which is my go-to for I don't know. So rolling D100, 84. There is nobody. If it was extreme no, which is 90 plus, and I still have my one-page mythic right off camera here for quick references. There is nobody guarding the entrance. There's no monster. There's no creature. There is just the emptiness, the void, and the one-page mythic. I want to see what is how the entrance appears to be, what it looks like. It could just be a conventional cave entrance, probably some abandoned mine of sorts. But let's ask the Oracle and roll up a two descriptors. So not an action, but two descriptors. One Page Mythic, by the way, is an excellent resource. No sponsor. I think it's cheap. It's like on itch, I believe, for a few bucks. It's worth a look. 66. So 66 is going to be leave. I have an idea for that. And then a 90, simple. Leave simple. It's a sign that says do not enter. Turn around now. There is like signs posted around the entrance of the cave that says do not enter, danger ahead. It's like make a U-turn. You made a wrong turn in Albuquerque. So yeah, that is basically I'm gonna write that down because that's a good detail to remember. Basically, cave entrance, uh, uh, danger signs, danger zone. So yeah, danger signage, basically in my own words. And since I'm talking to you guys directly, hopefully it's improving the interactability, interactions between us. I will keep my notes short, so you don't see my Mo Howard haircut when I'm writing down these writing down these notes. But anyways, turn back now. Danger ahead. It signs like that. So the team is like, okay, so who out of the three would be the bravest? Obviously, Bart. He's just standing there. He's like, are we gonna go in or what? I might actually, I'm trying to think of, I'm trying to picture how their voices would be audibly, how they would sound. Bar, like a big Russian accent, or just a big guy like this, kind of sounds like this. Yeah. Or Yark is just this old, frail, kind of talks like this. He talks low. Mel's like, oh, yeah, sure, this is great. I'll try to keep that consistent, but I can't make any promises. Again, I don't do voices quite often. When I do, it's it's hit and miss in my opinion. Um, but yeah, so Bar's like just in there, kind of the sign's just blurred. He doesn't really care. He just sees his target goal, and he's picturing in his mind gold, just a chest of gold sitting at the very end of the cave. It says, "Take me now, please," and he's just sitting there. Well, are we going in or what? And Yarp. That's why I like this picture. Kind of it helps me point out who's talking. Yarp is not Yarp, like from Hot Fuzz. Yarp. Yark. Actually, if you guys have seen Hot Fuzz, sorry tangents. Maybe he could sound like the guy that goes Yarp. But anyways, Yark says, "Well, well, are we?" He's looking at Mel. You're the boss, aren't you? Mel's like, Mel has, let's see, what weapon does he have drawn? Let's do a weapons check. Warhammer for Bar, so he kind of has that over his shoulder, like a dwarf would, but he's a human. Mel, he's number two in the game, but he kind of self-proclaimed leader of the group. He has two daggers for close range combat. I gave that to him because he has a low strength. He has a long bow for good for long range, so he's kind of the make or break assassin. Phone call. I'll be right back. Okay, so Mel answered his phone. He put it away. He's like, "All right, guys, I'm back." Okay, so Mel's like, again, he has a long bow for long range for long range battle. So he is the self-proclaimed leader, but also in a fantasy setting, he is the rogue, not necessarily a thief, but he is like the ranger, perhaps, if that fits better in that archetype. Okay, so these two here are looking at him like this, exactly like that picture. Just that's actually this. Let me get rid of my. Actually, I am the background, so never mind. So that's just the darkness if I turn off my camera. But yeah, they're looking at Mel just like these guys are right now. Mel's like, well, he looks to Bar like Bar's much taller than him. He's like, after you, sir. Bar's like, mm. He takes a step forward. You can see his footsteps walking on the dirt, and there's some gravel ahead. There's walking by the signs. Bar has this big giant posture, and he's walking in like a. And then as remember, there's nothing in the entrance. He walks in. Let's ask the oracle if there's any light sources or torches or anything like a sconce, basically light sources, because it's nighttime. So we have general moonlight and a torch. Oh, Mel has three torches. So I'm just going to assume he has his torch out right now. He has a torch. He lights it before they enter the cave. But let's give the cave a name. Just something really stupid. Location: Cave of Doom. Just again something silly because this is turning into a. It's turning into a dark comedy at this point. Now, question for the Oracle. Simple question. Are there any light sources in the cave? I'm going to say very unlikely. Why would there be a light source in the cave? A torch on the wall? We'll have to rely on the torch that Mel brought with him based on how whoever created it. So let's roll this up. 25% chance. 83, as I expected. There's no light source in the cave. They enter the cave. Uh, Bar is up front, walking with his kind of his Warhammer, looking him back and left and right. He's like, "There better be gold here." And then Mel's in between because he has a torch, so it gives a good radius of light for them to see. So 10, 15 flickering feet. I'd say Yark is behind. He's just kind of looking back, playing it smart. And then Yark, I'm gonna do a passive roll at the moment. This will be a passive roll, so it can't really be advantage or disadvantage for either of the three. So let me get my character sheet spread out here. So I have 1, 2, 3, Bar, Mel, and Yark. We're gonna roll Bar first. Perception would be willpower. So 10 for Bar. He's in the middle of the road. This one. 20. It makes sense. He's in the front. So whatever can go wrong will go wrong. Make a quote of that. And I'm noticing I'm spiking even more. I didn't realize how loud and irritating my voice is. There we go. Okay, so critical. I'm gonna write this down for him. Bar critical fail. CF critical fail. Okay. Mel. See, I told you I'm not lying on these rolls. Mel has a perception slightly higher, 12. So average, above average. Not 6. Okay, so he's good. So Mel 6. I see an idea with that, but the idea can be stomped with the fact that we had a 20. Well, again, Cairn 20 is a critical fail. One is or a fumble, depending on what generation, and then one is a critical success. At least I think that's in the book, but I'm making it to be the rule itself. Rulings over rules. So now it's Yark. He's 15 willpower, which gives him a higher chance of a higher degree of perception. 8. Okay, as I expected. I was hoping he would actually ace that, but so both Yark and Mel spot something passively. Then again, this roll was like the GM behind the shield doing the roll. And let's ask the Oracle what exactly is going to transpire because our friend with the Warhammer triggered whatever is about to happen. So this will be good for 2 action. One action and maybe two descriptors. We'll see. So the good old one-page mythic, rolling on it now. 82 official. So there's part of the cave. Maybe we'll see. 15 damaged. Damaged to the team or damaged to the whatever's part of the cave, perhaps. Let's do the third descriptor. 50. Oh, I just large. Official large damaged. This thing is damaged, but it's large. Oh, it's a pit. It's a trap. So large, official. It's baked into the ground. It's part of the cave. Maybe it's just a the ground gave out after due to age, or it's just a natural occurrence happened. The ground and so Bar falls. He okay. Like I said, yeah, that's why I'm recording myself so you guys can at least get to enjoy my reactions here. That's the goal of this whole point of recording myself. He's walking with the Warhammer and like just see a step like Looney Tunes. He just falls forward and falls into the hole. Because again, critical fail. He falls into not a well. Let me ask the Oracle. How deep is the hole? I'm just doing D100 roll. So 1 to 100. 100 is very deep. One is like a foot. 46. It's like 6 feet. Yeah, 6 feet. His head. Okay. I'm seeing how this looks. He falls into the hole. Yeah. He collapses forward. I'll give him. Let's see if he can survive. So like a saving throw, it's a save. We'll roll the stats. But disadvantage because he was not aware of it. An additional suffer for the critical fail. But rolling a 16 or less. Even with the critical fail, oh my gosh, 18, and then I rolled a solid one. So I got to take the highest roll, unfortunately. That's a fail. So he suffers just, let's just do 2 HP. The difference between his 16 strength. So he suffers 2 HP. Now he's down to 10 out of 12. There we go. Okay, he falls forward, collapses. Warhammer bangs against the edge of the wall of the hole. He falls forward onto his face. And he has a bruise or something on his head, like he's some bleed. That's just a bruise. He goes, just a big sigh, and Mel's like, oh, he's like forward leaning. He's like leaning over. Are you? He's like, are you okay, Mister Barr? Yark is like leaning over the shoulder, just kind of looking like what's going on in front, and then Barr kind of looks up. He says, "Yeah, I'm fine. Give me a rope. Throw me a rope." And like I said, I think Barr's head is just kind of poking over like this, looking up. He could just jump out, maybe 6 feet. If Barr is that tall, you know what? I don't think he's over 6 feet. That doesn't make. That's not really aligned of how tall people were back then. If we again, if I consider the history of it, uh, but again, this is fiction, so I could just say he's not 6 feet. Maybe he's just tall for whatever the average height is back then. So the hole is deep. He is perhaps a couple feet below the ground level of where these two guys are standing. So Mel's like, oh yeah, sure. Mel has a rope. It's in his inventory. He throws it down. He's holding his torch, and both Bar's a big guy, so I got to do 2 strength checks for both. Yark is going to grab and help Bar climb up, back up from the hole. If it was a trap or not, I don't think it really matters. It's just there's a hole in the ground. So let's roll 2d20s. Oh, let me use a red one for Yark, just so I know who's who. So red and blue is for Mel. Yark is red. We're doing strength checks, and both of their strengths are rather pathetic. Well, Mel is 9 strength. Yark is 6. He's not. So would Yark's intelligence play a factor here? Okay, here's what Yark does. Mel's looking to Yark. He says, "Here, help me pull him up." And Yark's like, "Wait." He said, "Wait. Just tie the rope to the wall." Right. So let's say there is a stone sticking out, a really sharp stone. So Mel looks to the stone. Okay. They tie it to the stone, and Bar is going, no strength check required. He's going to climb the rope, whether it's silk or hemp, whatever the other ones are. I didn't really detail that. But Bar climbs back out. He cleans himself off like this. And he goes, thanks. He looks to Mel, kind of looks away, like says thanks, because he knows it's a little embarrassing. This big guy falling forward like a cartoon character, and Mel's like anime, like like that. And Yark's just standing there. He's looking at the hole, and there is room to like kind of Mission Impossible or like Ace Ventura crawl by and against the wall. So they're gonna do that. So Mel Yark points to the side. He says, "Look, let's climb on the side there. Be careful." And the Yark is going to demonstrate. Will this require a roll? I'm going to say yes. So I'm going to give advantage though for this one because Yark planned ahead. He is using his intelligence to do this, despite the fact his dexterity is only 8. This, I think, will require dexterity. So 2d20s, we're rolling at 8 or less. This is Yark. He's going first. He grabs the torch from Mel. He's like, give me that. Take the torch and he's going to, again, Ace Ventura it across against the wall. And the hole's probably, 10 feet in length from their position. So 2d20s rolling. Now, I rolled a critical 1 and a 15. So we take the 1. Yark does it effortlessly. He's just like, boom, done. And then he does this to the others. Mel is he has a dexterity of 15, but I'm not giving an advantage though. The torch does help light up the area, but he's not really being assisted. He did see Yark do it. So I'm trying to figure out if that's worth an advantage roll. I'm gonna say yes. I probably shouldn't, but let's just give it to him. So 15 or less. 5 and 12. So we go up to 5. He's able to, a couple stones fall down from his feet into the hole, but he's able to effortlessly, not effortlessly, but he's able to carefully go across. Now there's the big guy. I don't know. Um, okay, so Bar is a big dude, it's obvious. How does he fit in between the wall, the ledge, and then the drop? Where he's going to crawl or sidestep through. Let's ask the Oracle. Can Bar does Bar have room to Ace Ventura his way across? I'm gonna say 50-50 on this one. 48. Barely. Barely has room. Okay. Interesting. So I'm gonna roll because of his size and the fact he does barely have any room. I will not include a disadvantage or advantage at all. This will be a flat roll. So let's roll for it. His dexterity, it's 8, which means he can fall back in the hole. But before doing so, the rope, I forgot to mention, is back in Mel's. It's back in, well, no. Mel's like, I forgot the rope. So he points to the rope tied to the stone, and Yark has an idea. Yark says, he tells Bar's about to cross. Bar tells Bar to stop. Bar, stop. Hold on a second. I sound like Bar. He says, why don't you that's a good voice for him. He's an old prospector. He sounds just like an old prospector. Why don't you toss us the rope and I'll tie it to something over here? It's as a support, yeah, basically a support rope. So Bar's like, okay. He takes the rope and throws it across. No roll required for that. And um, Yard catches it. He's looking around. There's like the stones on this side are they're kind of more baked into the walls or flatter. There's nothing sharp. And then so Mel offers, why not we hold on to it this time? So Mel's like, well, why don't we just hold on to it this time? And Yark is thinking, you know, well, see really another option. Let's do it. All right. And so they grab it, and I'm thinking if they can use an item to perhaps like put into the ground to tie it, but there's nothing really around. Let's do this before Yark agrees to that idea, because again, he's looking at his size. He's looking around. Let's roll for it. Let's do a standard roll. 15 flat, 15 or less. 18, nothing. He's looking around. It's just rocks and then darkness further down. So Yark also tells Mel, keep an eye out. He says, keep an eye out behind me. Got a bad feeling about this place. And Mel's like, okay. And they're gonna hold the rope. They're like, they Yark tells Bar to Grab onto the. He says, grab onto the rope when you cross over. Go slowly, for Pete's sake. Mara's like, all right. So he takes the rope and he's going to. This will require a roll, but he does have an item to support and he has a team to support. So what this will be is an advantage roll using his dexterity. However, I'm rolling an extra d6. This is a custom. This is a house rule. Let me grab a d4. Let's see. Yep, this red d4 represents a negative modifier, so it decreases it. So more likely to succeed. That's coming from the support of the team. The additional d20 is the rope itself, and then the lowest roll is everything considered. Again, this is just a custom house roll. 2 was the d4. Our lowest roll was 7, and the highest was 13. So 7 minus 2 is 5. Thus, he's successful. The 7 would have succeeded anyways, because his dexterity is 8. So, he crosses over, and I'm going to write down here, they cross over the hole. And now we are on to the next page. So, they are now past this hole, staring into the dark cave as the torch flickers just beyond 15-20 feet of their radius. So location here for just an update. Every new page I usually write a location just in case I'm doing a quick scan, quick skim through. So cave, yeah, that's it. So basically, to basically detail our conditions at the moment, Mel has torch. Ken has torch. So as they are standing like this, looking ahead, they're kind of side by side. Let's roll the one-page mythic, see what is going on down in the tunnel, out of their sight. And then we might do a passive roll or a forced roll on Yark, because Yark's been the one who kind of likes to take lead on anything perception or awareness related. So rolling for action, or I'm sorry, 2 descriptors. 13, colorful. Oh, I have an idea for that. 75. Powerful. Okay, so this is related to our friend Bar. So, okay, while I'm going to write those down, let's see, looks, colorful, and powerful. Okay, this actually makes sense. I love that this just kind of ties together. Bar, he's slightly ahead, standing in front. He typically is the tank of the group. Um, he sees a shining pot of gold at the very end of the path in the cave. He's like, his eyes widen up. He's tapping Yark's. He doesn't really care much for Mel besides the gold, but he's tapping Yark's shoulder. He says, "Yark, you see that?" Yark looks ahead. No, Yark doesn't see anything. He just sees darkness. And Yark's like, I don't, I don't see anything. What do you see? Bar He's like he's entranced by whatever he's looking at down there, and I'm gonna write that down because star bar it's an illusion obviously illusion. He sees gold, a pot of gold, a pot of gold. It's just right there in front of him. So pot of gold, obviously. I mean, come on. So there's something in the cave that draws people in, and he sees gold, and that is his thing. Like that's his drive in life is to make money. He is the Seto Kaiba of this group, so he wants to make money. And Mel is like confused. What's going on? So he starts. Bar starts to walk forward, and then Yark's like, grab him. He's like, Bar, what are you doing? And then Mel puts his torch ahead to like see what's going on while grabbing Bar, but Bar's dragging him. He's like they're trying to pull him back. So I don't know. I need to write that down. And then Mel's trying to put his torch forward. When Mel puts his torch forward ahead of Bar, he's like trying to grab him, like looking. He's also looking like what is in trance? What is Bar seeing at the moment in front of him? And I think Mel is now going to see something that's kind of in his um, drive or motive in life. So let's roll for it. 2 descriptors, 63, natural, okay, 22, dirty. Something natural and dirty. Oh, okay, so he sees himself as an adventurer who's like just his clothes are dirty from like blood, like he's killed, maimed something, and he's holding the head of some victim. Again, dark comedy. He's saved the day. Like he is doing something heroic. Like he's killed some beast, and he's holding the head of the beast, and like he's standing on top of a throne, like with the head of the beast and his sword by his side. And he looks heroic. He sees himself heroic. That's what I would say natural and dirty. Dirty meaning like the blood, but natural for him, it's like it feels so natural. So I'll do another star here. Mel sees himself heroic in big capital letters. That works. Heroic. He's just entranced by whatever he's looking. So he lets go of Bar's arm and starts to kind of mindlessly walk forward. And Yark's like, "Not you too, damn it!" And then Yark looks ahead. The torch. Oh yeah, so the torch drops. Yark just or Mel drops the torch, and then Yark quickly grabs the torch. So I'm going to move it over to his inventory. That's one of his torches. So now Mel is down to two. Yark has one torch. I should say the active torch currently. So 2x for Mel, and then Yark has one torch. Okay. Now Yark is looking. He's interested, but again, he's intelligent. He's smarter than the average bear. So I have to keep that in mind here. What he sees next will be based on this, but I'll let him roll for it to see if he can snap out of it. So it gets him two, but he is strong. He has a strong mind. Maybe he reads a lot. I don't know. That could be something that why he's a grave digger again. He kind of works this simple job, but maybe he reads a lot and he's just a fresh, clean mind. Not fresh, just a clean, smart mind. So rolling for two descriptors for him. Like, what are his desires? We need to flesh out these characters a bit. 13. Read the colorful. I like to re-roll on this within the same episode. I don't want to give like repeats. 62. Mysterious. Okay. Could it be any more vaguer? Oh, 00. So 100. Warm. One more descriptor. Mysterious warm. One. Artificial. Okay, so mysterious warm artificial. Let me write those down. So basically, for Yark, before I forget, because I will, mysterious, warm, I think, and artificial. Yeah. This is not convincing enough. So it's him with a family, like he has a kid, a wife. Yeah. Um, let's say he used to have a family and they are just whatever happened to them. We can explore that later, but it's his family. It was his family. Past tense. I think that works best. It was his family. And he sees them. He sees himself holding his newborn son, his wife, this beautiful woman's to his right. She's crying and she's happy. They are just welcomed a new life into this world. And he has like maybe a little boy and a little girl next to him, so a third child. But again, this is kind of his specialty to see past this illusion, rolling 2d20s, because Yark is convinced that these two are in a trance. What he's seeing, logically, he's reasoning that what he's seeing is also fake, but it is trying to grab him. So it's not like that's not real. He can't just do that. We have to roll for it. So it's a save. These past three rolls have been saves. Rolling 2d20s, 11 and 14. The 11 counts. They both count, but it's success either way. Yar kind of snaps out of it, like he hits himself, and he snaps out of it, and down the cave there's a glow. They see he sees a blue crystal. There's a pile of dirt with a blue crystal that is just kind of poking out of it. So think kryptonite, but blue kryptonite. It's just kind of poking out. It's clean, very, very shiny and glowing. This blue aura kind of comes whooshing by the team. So he is successful, but these two failed in the roll. It's a blue crystal. That's what he sees. So Yark sees a blue crystal that's emitting a light, and it's drawing in the team. I think that works. So Yark is he can't grab two individuals and pull them back. He has no strength whatsoever. He has his intellect. He's not fast. He can't run in front and be like, "Hey, it's all an illusion." He could try that. There's no. Oh, he does have a bucket, but it's not. Doesn't have a bucket of water. It's a cave. Would there be a stream of water nearby? This could be too much of a what do you call it? I forgot what the term is called. Anyways, is there any water nearby? 25% chance. I don't want to like just give it to him. That's spun. 99. There's no water nearby. He has a bucket hanging off his side, clanging around, but he's looking around. There's no water. That was not an ability roll. That was just a Oracle question. So there's no water whatsoever, which they're thirsty. So, but they have rations. They do have rations, and I can kind of associate rations with water, but um, yeah, I'm gonna stick with food. So he's thinking what to do, and as they get closer, they're within like 30 yards. As they get closer to this glowing illusion casting blue gem, or sorry, blue crystal. Let's see, what was bars? Bars sees the gold. It's this fountain of gold. It's or fountain. It's this pile of treasure. There's weapons, there's jewelry, there's freshly crafted merchandising. It's everything. As Mel gets closer, it's him. He's receiving the key to the city. He's cutting the ribbon. He's meeting these beautiful women. They're feeding him fruits. He is on top of the world for himself. He's no longer a boring son of a noble. He is himself. He is a his own man. Yark is fighting for his life, trying to figure out what to do for these guys. And what can he do? Like this is the part I'm just stumped. He can try to snap him out of it. I mean, what else? The bucket, the bucket, the bucket actually can probably do something here. I have crowbar. Like I don't want him to smash the head of like take the crowbar and like try to hit them, and snap out of it. That'd be terrible. Um, but the bucket block their vision. So if you remember Skyrim, there's a glitch where you put the bucket on someone's head and start stealing their goods. They don't see it. They're just standing there. Hello, adventurer. They don't see it. So could that work here? Let's do it. Why not? It's my game. I'm going to go with it. So Yark just quickly takes the bucket and puts it on top of because he's thinking that the sense where this blue crystal illusion draws you into is based on vision, nothing else. Everything else is fabricated. When you see the vision, the illusion, it's all through your eyes. Everything else is self-populated through your mind. So Bar is seeing the smell of gold, the feel of gold, the smell of gold. It's all from him. It's all from his own experience of what gold would feel like, smell like, and look like. For Mel, it's everything that he dreams of. So it's coming from his own mind. What he's seeing is fabricated. So I think the visual intake of this spell or illusion casting blue crystal is straight for the eyes. So Garrick thinks put the bucket on the head. So he puts the bucket on the head. Okay, I'm gonna write this down. This is definitely pen worthy. Yark uses bucket on them. Basically, he takes the bucket, he puts it on, if it fits even on top of Bar's head, and leaves it get. Then it gets just right down to here. His head's too big, so it's kind of slanted. And he takes his crowbar and starts tapping it on the bucket to interrupt whatever visual gaze that Bar is first stuck in. And Bar starts to like, he starts to topple around, and you're like, what the hell? And so he takes the bucket and throws it off. He's looking around like, what happened? And it worked. Like that would work. I don't think that's a role. I don't think that's a role required, like a will roll for Yark. I generally think that would work. So Bar's like, what happened? And Yark says, eyes on me. He says, eyes on me, don't look down that cave. And he takes the bucket back and puts on Mel. Effortless. Mel is young. It says, well, actually, maybe Mel's younger, but his willpower is lower. No, it's higher than Bar. Bar's older, more experienced, been around longer, but the imagination of Mel is probably stronger. This will require a roll. So he puts the bucket on his head and he takes the crowbar and Bar's like, "What the hell are you doing?" He starts tapping it on the side of the bucket. This will require a roll, I think. Power advantage, item, and just logic in general. So we're basically doing an opposed roll here. Huh? How should I do this? This is an opposed roll for two characters. One is fighting with their own imagination. That'll be Mel. He's the recipient. The sender is Yark. So, I don't know. I'm going to roll both dice, see what happens. Okay, a critical fail 20 for Yark, 18 for Mel. So, technically, he failed. Yark failed to snap him out of this. The bucket's on his head and he's walking towards it. So, again, it's too late. I think it's because Mel was too easily influenced. As young as he is, he was too easily influenced by the crystal. Yeah, the blue crystal to snap out of it. Bar more his mind is more, I don't know, built, I don't experienced, aged. Nothing like that can really sink him in totally. So uh he's Yark's like, well, that was supposed to work. It snapped you out of it, and then Bar's kind of connected the dots there. He says he's continuing to look at Yark. He trusts Yark. He says, wait, that all that gold wasn't real? And Yark's like, no, it's a damn illusion. I saw my family. I know that. And then he stops talking. And he starts like he remembers his past. Whatever the family happened, he's like, and Bar's like, so Bar grabs Mel and holds him. But I'm thinking this blue crystal has some magnetic force that pulls in individuals that it gets. Maybe. Let's roll. Let me ask the Oracle on this one. Does the blue crystal not just project an illusion to draw you in, but actually like a magnetic, like a tractor beam, pulls you in? 75% chance. 15. It does. That's a yes. That's not a strong yes, but that's a yes. So this will take a roll. It's Mel again. But based on Bar's size, I'll give an advantage. I'll give him 2d20s. The red die is Mel. It's another opposed roll. We're back and forth here. But advantage with Bar. Okay. This is interesting. I rolled for Bar 19 and a 14. Mel rolled a 14. Tie. Who has the more strength? Bar. Bar takes Mel, who has the bucket on his head. He he spins him around, takes the bucket off, and he starts shaking him. He's like, hey, you nitwit, snap out of it. And he slaps him in the face like the Three Stooges. Hey, you wise guy, snap out of it. He slaps him Mel right across the face. And I was like, what just happened? He's looking up in the ceiling. Where was I? Like that, like Shaggy from. I'm sort of thinking like he's Shaggy from Scooby Doo. He's like, what was that? And then Bar's like, that was not real. What you're just looking at, or that's actually Yark. Sorry, he's like, that was all an illusion. It's not real. Bar's like, you have to, damn it, Jim, you have to snap out of it. So, and Mel's like, I saw the craziest thing. I was like, hero. And then, and so Yark looks back at the blue crystal, and it's kind of fading away. The blue crystal kind of fades away, and it disappears. The torch, he still has a torch, and the crystal's gone. So while Bar and like, I need name tags. Mel, hi, I'm Lex. While they are recollecting themselves, like Bar's like, oh, You know, then the noise from the damn bucket is kind of irritating. Like he's getting a ring like a grenade, like it just took an explosion to the face, and then Mel's like, no, all those women, all that pussy. So he's just like, it's all gone. And then Yark is like looking at the crystal, and the blue crystal fades away. So basically, success. Everyone is snapped out of it. Yeah, I'm gonna write down snapped out of it, and they're the crystal is fading away. So it's gone. Not physically gone, just it's 30, 40 yards away. However, I think I said 30. It's gone. Just it faded away. And the torch can only flicker 15, 20 feet in range. So the arc says, the bar turns the arc says, he says, what was that? What happened to us? The arc says, whatever you guys saw, that wasn't real. I believe that damn crystal over there. And he's pointing at the crystal, and his crystal's gone. Well, there was a crystal, but it's gone now. That thing was showing you guys something fake, and I know it. Show my family. Mm-mm, I don't like it. And Bar's like, I thought I saw gold, big mountain of gold. He looks to Mel. You better pay us twice for this. This is messing with my head. I don't like that. Mm-mm. Mel's like, oh, oh snap! like zoinks. he's like, he's well, I guess we should keep going then. And you're like, I'm taking charge now. You guys are just gonna walk into traps left and right, get yourselves killed. So Yark takes the point, and he'll take lead. So I'm gonna write that down here. Yark takes the lead, and that's good actually. I think uh, Yark, as I was originally perceiving him to be, I was thought he was gonna be the quiet one, in the background, the smart one. Occasionally comes with the ideas. Was originally thinking that Bar will be the big guy to take to tank things, to be the muscle, to be in the front. Mel is the again self-proclaimed trying to be the leader, the big shot, like command these two who are old friends. But no, it's a merry-go-round, and I think that's great. I want this to be not just a dark comedy, as I was originally projecting, but like I want this to be a good building experience for these three. They're not friends essentially, besides these two. Mel is the stick out. He stick out. He is the he is a standout as far as not being friends with these guys, not being a regular. He's the one trying to fit in with the group. And Yark is taking point because he knows this is his area of expertise. Could be, but he knows he's been rather useful so far. Bar has been the victim here. He fell in that hole. He got entranced, I think, first. So he knows to stand back and let his friend Dark take point. So Bar doesn't have any disagreement here. Mel does not disagree either. Mel likes him. I think Mel is still like, envelope, envelope. How do you say it? He's still mind effed up from what he just experienced. It was really strong. Again, he's younger, so his imagination is through the roof. But the other two are like, again, 50, 60 plus. So they're like, eh. For gold, for Bar, it's just more of a desire than like imagination and fandom. It's just like he just wants gold. So the blue crystal took that desire at heart. So they walk down the cave, and Yark taking point with the torch, and he tells Mel, "Keep an eye on our back." And Mel's like, "Okay, I'll keep an eye." So Mel has his own torch. He's gonna light his own torch. Bar is just he has a warhammer. He's just kind of still shaking out the cobwebs, and he's just like he's just nodding. Like he expected to be more, fighting more wolves like they did last episode, but like now it's a mind trick with them. So that's really it for the episode. I experimenting with this method. Um, Let me know what you guys thought. I loved it. I really did like this. I hope it really helps convey what I'm trying to do here with these characters. I feel like when I'm recording the screen down, you just see my hands, and I noticed that it's great. A lot of YouTubers do that in solo RPGs, which is completely respectable. They don't want to show their face. I understand that. I've shown my face many, many times on this channel. I'm completely fine with that. But I can't do the role play with just my hands here. I'm not a hand model, you know. I feel like I could convey more emotion talking to myself on the camera, and you guys get to experience it. So I hope it did help with the atmosphere of things, and the acting in my role play paid off in the end. So yeah, that's really it for this episode. This was more of an uh, experimental in the building their character. So I do kind of see how they're fleshing out, and I think they will continue to surprise me. I should say surprise you guys uh, as we continue on. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in episode 3 of the Dark Trio.